Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Apurva Singh Jadon, a passionate wildlife photographer and a software engineer by profession. And yeah, you can call me, thank you. You can call me female Farhan Qureshi like my friends do, but मेरे अब्बा नहीं माने, हमने adjust कर लिया. Now, I want to take you guys into this mirror where frames reflect beauty and voices that protect the wild. So photography can be a tool to create art or a weapon to fight a war. Now don't worry, I didn't come here to declare a war on you all. I fight a very different war, a war for nature and its conservation. So if you ask me why photography is important for conservation, here's the thing about photography. It freezes time. It holds on to something fleeting, like a vanishing bird or a disappearing forest, and says, this is real. This happened. Okay, if I tell you a number, 1411, that was the count of tigers in the year 2006 in India, I think you will forget it tomorrow, right? But if I show you a picture of tiger staring from the grass right at you, you might not be able to forget that moment, and better if you observe this in the wild yourself, right? Okay, I want to ask you, how many of you remember your first tiger, your first dancing peacock, or even a monkey? Please raise your hands. See, that's what I mean. That's the power of visuals. A single visual memory is way more powerful than 100 reports. For 4 years, I sat on this particular trail in Keoladeo Ghana National Park, Bharatpur, waiting for my dream frame. 4 winters passed, no luck. But last year, December 2024, while I was walking on the same trail, 2 jackals decided to appear. And not just appear, they started fighting right there. I got these shots. These pictures are not just any frames. These are the proof that patience and perseverance in wildlife or in life in general pays off. And that's what I hope for conservation too. Now I want to share a few examples with you guys of the wildlife. So Keoladeo Ghana National Park, Bharatpur, tells a very powerful story. It was once a stage for it was a royal hunting ground. And it is estimated that almost 4,000 birds were killed in a single day somewhere in the 1930s. But now it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site and Asia's birding jewel. Almost like every winter, Bharatpur welcomes more than 370 species of birds and about 1 lakh migratory birds, waterfowls, from painted storks to bar-headed geese to pelicans. Bharatpur welcomes them all. What was once a stage for trophies has now become a sanctuary for survival. And photography played a very vital role. From documenting the decline of the Siberian cranes to showcasing the diversity that still thrives. If not for those images of loss and hope, Bharatpur's call for protection would never have echoed so strongly. In the eastern Himalayas, red pandas are less than 10,000 red pandas are still in the wild. And recently in Elam, Nepal, with the help of camera traps, it has been recorded that new cubs have been born. You can see these are 2 cubs that I pictured in Nepal. Look at them playing. So cute, right? Now, and even they have been known to expand their known territories as well now. And that is great news. And in India side, Singalila National Park, red panda tourism supports about 400 families, local families. The families which were once dependent only on lodging are now protecting the forest. So photography helped this very shy, elusive animal to become the global ambassador, protecting the wild and voicing the conservation. That's great news, right? Now in Big One, Maharashtra, This is a place where I stayed in Nepal. Look at it. How beautiful, right? So in Bhigwan, Maharashtra, it also revealed a very important thing. Not just flamingos. Flamingos arrive every winter thanks to the wetlands and enough food available for them. But wolves. For 2 decades, wolves sightings were very rare. For before, like 2 decades ago. But now, because of ecotourism and awareness campaigns, wolf numbers have stabilized. But the good news is, even migratory bird counts have increased to almost 20 to 30%. That's really amazing. Now, photography plays with two forces. Beauty makes us fall in love, shock wakes us up. So it is very easy for you to witness something and recognize its beauty and appreciate its beauty, right? But if there is a frog on a leaflet, unless I show you a photograph of how beautiful and extraordinary it is, you might not be able to appreciate its beauty. You can see here. So photography helps to identify normal, ordinary into extraordinary. That again. Now in the wild, I have captured beauty. I've captured the green vine snakes. I've captured the tadpoles in this eggs looking like tiny pearls in the jungle. And I've captured birds foraging in Bharatpur. But I've captured the shock as well. So my city, Gwalior, was once a place for migratory birds. A lot of migratory birds used to come. But now it is filled with filth and industrial waste. All the wetlands. That's really bad, right? So this is the loss of forest cover. You can see the red on that Indian map. You can see the reds. That's really shocking, right? We have lost that forest cover in India. I've retrieved this data from Google. I've tried to get as legit data as possible. But yeah, I mean, it's really shocking, right? An orangutan fighting a bulldozer in the Southeast Asia. Now, this particular video triggered millions of people in the world. Palm oil boycotts spread all across Europe. By 2019, almost 300 major retailers and companies changed their sourcing policies. They were forced to change their sourcing policies. Why? Because one orangutan triggered more empathy than statistics of about 1 lakh lost hectares. This is the power of photography and documentation. Now, you might have seen pictures of roadkills, right, on like Instagram or somewhere. Like you have seen pictures of them. What do they see? What do they show? They show that what we have done to this wild, right? In my city, I have pictured electrocuted monkeys, crushed snakes, frogs. I've blurred these images for you guys because they were painful to watch. But I've photographed these images and I use them to spread awareness. Because people need to understand what we have done to the wild. I have used the pictures of the wild the injured animals, to send them to the forest department to get rescues for them. Now, you see these images? These are Google images. These images are from Uttarakhand floods. Sometimes it's not about one electrocution or one roadkill. It's about an entire ecosystem collapsing. 2013, almost 5,700 people died. Villages and habitats collapsed, vanished entirely. Why? Because we humans interfered with nature. And 2025, we haven't learned our lesson. We're doing the same mistakes still. You might have heard a lot of news where in Uttarakhand and Himachal and Jammu, so many floods, so many destructions, right? Why? Because when we disturb the nature's balance, both human and wildlife suffers. Now, I want to talk to you about such great people who have worked for wildlife and its conservation. This is late Radhesham Bishnoi ji. He recently passed away because he was chasing poachers. Poachers, you understand, people who illegally kill wildlife, right? So poachers, he was chasing them and he was killed in an accident. His pictures of great Indian bustard and wolves became court evidences. They stalled multiple illegal projects that were going on around in that region. Less than 150 Great Indian bustards, Son Chiraiya, if you know in Hindi, Son Chiraiya remains in the wild right now. Less than 150, can you imagine? And photography is the reason even why even those are still alive. You can see this is the Great Indian Bustard. And his work with blackbucks and the Chinkaras in the Bishnoi land became a cultural movement. Rajasthan government was forced to enforce stricter actions for protection of wildlife. These are the images of camera traps. You understand camera traps? Camera traps are used to install all across the jungle, right? They usually are, they were initially used to count the number of tigers. Now they are helping to nab poachers in the wild. So these camera traps, almost 100 AI-powered camera traps, nabbed in the last 11 months 40 suspected poachers. And in last 2 years, 80% of the poachers were nabbed by the government. That is great, right? So similarly, wildlife tourism, the WWF, especially the organizations such as that, and the government as well, are installing such camera traps all across the nation to track wildlife as well as the number of, to nab the poachers. This is the black tiger of Orissa Simlipal National Park, Tiger Reserve. This is the black tiger, the species that we need to protect because it is extremely elusive. Now, here photography, as you understood, photography nabbing the poachers. So from art, it turned from art into evidence. That is great, right? This is Jane Goodall. We lost her recently at the age of 91. She invested almost 60 years of her life protecting the species chimpanzees. She worked for their care, she documented them, showcased the world that these animals are capable of human emotions. They are so similar to humans. Because of her work, their population has stabilized as well, right? Now, you already know that pictures and videos spread faster than research papers, right? Subbiah Nallumuthu's sir's film on the tigress Machli did not just make her famous. It revealed a very important behavior. Before people watched that documentary, only a few believed that a tiger could actually take down a crocodile. She took down a 14 feet crocodile by herself. This behavior fascinated people across the world, and people flocked to Ranthambore to witness this power, right? And thanks to such ecotourisms and thanks to such animals, wildlife tourism today generates over 20,000 crores annually. And this particular fund is used for wildlife and its conservation, for sanctuaries. Now you already are aware that I'm a software engineer. Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, I test applications. During the weekends, nature tests my patience. So most of you binge watch Netflix, right? I binge watch birds and mammals and try to understand their behavior. So this duality of my career, this dual nature of my career reveals that, you don't need to quit your job to follow conservation or wildlife or any of your passion, right? It does not need to quit your job. It only needs your heart. Conservation just needs that. And during my time in wildlife, I've seen good too. I've seen people risking lives to protect snakes, to rescue snakes. My friend dived into a well to protect a jackal. That jackal was there in the well for 2 days. It was literally in trauma. After it came out, it bit my friend. That's a different story. But then, that animal was in trauma. He saved him. And I have left tiger sightings because of such disturbance. If a video had played, it would have been great. You can see a tigress there, right? Look at the number of vehicles surrounding it. I was stuck between vehicles. I asked my driver to leave from there because one photograph is not worth their life, right? They're not their peace. She was about to hunt, but she could not. Here, the tiger is sitting right on the left-hand side. It's sitting there, watching them. And the jeeps did not move for 2 hours. I left that location. Because it's not worth it, right? So if we choose to make such decisions, like if we choose nature, if we choose empathy over our selfies and our fun, conservation would not be a dream, it would become a habit. You agree? Now, if in the wild, so if ever you see any animal injured or, monkeys stuck in a wire or electrocuted or something like that, if you see an injured animal, please try to help it. Keep numbers of your local authorities where there are zoo people who are helping, Nagar Nigam also helps. So, keep those numbers with you. If you see an injured animal, make that call, save that life, right? So, photography does not only captures beauty, it reflects what we are doing to the wild. It also captures, it also shows a window of what we can still do to save it. So the next time you see a beautiful picture of a landscape or an animal, don't just double tap on Instagram. Think about it. What window of hope does it open for me? What can I do to contribute towards nature? Because the war for conservation will not be won by guns and governments. It will be won by what we choose to see, what we choose to change. Because in the end, photograph is not just an image. It's a mirror to our reality. And before I end, I want to thank the TEDx team for giving me this prestigious stage, for inviting me here, and the amazing organizers who have worked tirelessly throughout these days and making this event such a success. Many congratulations to you all. Thank you everyone. Save yourself, save nature. Thank you.